Hello and welcome to this Ask Me Anything, where I was asked by a listener about how to reduce cholesterol naturally with Chinese medicine. It fits in really well because this month, September in Chi Flow with Joe, we're focusing on healthy heart, not just physically, but energetically, spiritually, and emotionally. So don't forget to sign up for your free Qigong class on the last weekday of the month. So in today's Ask Me Anything, I'm going to show you how to naturally support healthy cholesterol levels using ancient acupressure points, a TCM recipe, and a flowing Qigong movement from the 8 brocades that nurtures liver, heart, and lungs. Remember, this video is not intended to replace any medication that you may be taking, so always consult your healthcare provider before making any changes to your treatment plan. This is offered as a complementary therapy to support your overall health and well-being. So first, let's start with some important understanding. What is high cholesterol? So cholesterol in itself isn't bad. It's a major component of cell membranes, including those in the brain. It plays a vital role in the formation of the myelin sheath, which really helps. It's the protective insulation around nerve fibers, helping the signaling of nervous transmissions. So if I want to walk over there, the myelin sheath will bounce around the nerve impulses to get my legs to walk over there. But when levels become too high, particularly with LDL, that kind of bad cholesterol, it can build up in the arteries. This sticky buildup is called plaque, and over time it hardens and narrows your blood vessels. And the result, high blood pressure, heart disease, and stroke. So you think of it as a hose, like narrowing. It's got the same amount of water, same amount of blood, but less space. So it increases the pressure. And you might not feel that happening, and that's the danger. High cholesterol is often silent, but it puts a strain on the heart and the whole circulatory system. Western medicine often prescribes statins, and whilst these can be effective, they also have some side effects, and that's why many people are turning to complementary therapies like traditional Chinese medicine, or TCM. In TCM, we don't talk about cholesterol in biochemical terms. Instead, we see it as an imbalance of phlegm, dampness and stagnant qi, especially in the spleen, the stomach, and the liver systems. When the spleen's transformational and transportational function is weakened by poor diet, lots of sugars, overthinking, or stress, it creates what we call damp phlegm. You might imagine where you've got a room and the heat doesn't travel. You can't really warm up a damp room. It sits there sticky and becoming kind of heavy and damp. The phlegm can lodge in the channels, the meridians, and also the organs, obstructing the free flow of qi and blood. And that leads to what we might equate with high cholesterol, atherosclerosis, hypertension in Western terms. The goal in TCM is not just to lower the number of your LDL, but to support all the organs responsible for moving, transforming, and clearing anything in excess, primarily the spleen, the stomach, and the liver. The heart itself is the emperor of the body. Everything is in service to the heart. So rather than focusing on the heart directly, we look at the organs that support the heart. So let's start with a powerful acupressure point, stomach 40. Known as Fenglong, or abundant bulge. Who doesn't love an abundant bulge? So in TCM, this point is the empirical point for resolving that phlegm. But what is phlegm? It's essentially a mucus which builds up and thickens. Anyone, if you've had a sinus infection, you've got a pretty good idea of what this looks like and what this feels like. And in Chinese medicine, when qi doesn't flow smoothly, you can get a build-up of mucus. And this mucus then forms and thickens into phlegm. And phlegm then thickens and solidifies into accumulations. And accumulations is rather more like a solid lump of cell, tissues, fluids, and that can include the buildup of tumors, whether they're benign or malignant. So whether it's a foggy head, brain fog, congested lungs, or high cholesterol, stomach 40 helps clear damp phlegm from the channels. In 2014, a study published actually showed that this point reduced blood pressure due to its influence on blood viscosity, as in blood thickness. So Chinese medicine still has these kind of terms of phlegm and dampness, and just we use different words in Western medicine, but that's that whole thing of helping the qi and the blood to flow. So let's find this point. So first of all, I want you to find your stomach meridian. So your stomach meridian is really on that groove on the outside of your shin. So here you've got your shin, yeah, you've got your shin bone, and on the outside you'll find a groove to it. You'll find a groove to it. And I want you to find at the top of the groove, you'll find a knobbly bobbly bit of the bone. And then you've got your ankle bone. And what I want you to do is find midway in between those two bobbly bits of bone. Okay, so here's my ankle bone, and here is the knobbly bit right at the groove outside the shin. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a handspan and a handspan, and where they meet is stomach 40. And just move your thumb around into stomach 40 and you'll find there is a depression in stomach 40. You might feel that indentation. Stomach 40, and what I want you to do is really connect. Quite often we can forget we have a body. We're just living in the mind. So really feel into your body. Feel that you've got feet, feel that you've got legs and a shin bone, and that you've got a stomach 40 point. And a little bit like when you're holding somebody's hand, you don't hold it too limply and you don't hold it too tightly. Connect in, feel the resistance, and as soon as you start to feel the resistance, just hold and let the body relax and release without any force, without any pushing. Learn to sense your energy. That's what we do in Qi flow. Qi gong, Qi is energy, gong is work. So it's working with the energy. But to work with something, you've really got to be able to kind of sense it. And that's what we do in the Qi flow with Jo. We sense the energy and we're able to then flow it around the body. So here, I'm also going to use my knuckle, and I'm going to stimulate the point. You have two legs, so you have two stomach 40s. So let's find it on the other side. So again, find the groove that's going down your shin. Find the knobbly bit of the bone underneath. You're not on the kneecap. Here's the kneecap. Here's the end of the kneecap. And you've got the tibia and the fibia. I want the top, really knobbly bit here. And the knobbly bit of the ankle. Make a handspan. Make a handspan where they meet in the middle. Find the indentation and press. This one on this side is slightly different. It's a little bit emptier. So I'm holding and until I can feel the energy come to meet my thumb and fill that point, sometimes called tsubos. And it's a little bit like the fascia. When you want to stretch the fascia, you can't pull it. If you do, the fascia will actually resist and tighten up. It's the same with these points. If you push too hard, you will tighten them up. So I just want you to feel into them, connect and press. Rub. and say hello. So this is stomach 40. So this is stomach 40. Pressing, holding, feeling any release or feeling your energy come to meet it. Learn to sense your energy. That's what we do in Chi Flow. Remember, you have a body. You're not just a body with a mind directing it. Your body is so wise. It is doing thousands of things right now without you even thinking about them. So remember that your body is wise and trust your body. See, I can even do them both at the same time. It's a wonderful self-care ritual that helps clear this invisible phlegm, the kind that builds up in the vessels, in the meridians, in the mind, and in the emotional states of the body. So we want to clear that phlegm and let the chi flow. Next, let's move to the food as medicine, which of course you can learn more about in my books. In Chinese medicine, the liver governs the smooth flow of qi and blood. It also stores the blood, which nourishes the tendons, the ligaments, the eyes, and critically the heart. If you look in my book, you'll see that there's, and even here on the diagram here, we have the 5 elements, and the liver in the 5 elements supports the heart. But when the liver stagnates through stress, tension, repressed anger, or rich and greasy food, it can lead to phlegm accumulation, which, remember, the phlegm happens when the qi stagnates and doesn't flow properly, and you get high cholesterol and rising blood pressure. We might also know it as non-alcoholic liver fatty disease. So how do we nourish the liver? So we use sour flavors to move stagnant liver qi. We use green, the color of the liver is green. So we use green leafy vegetables. Whole grains support digestions, and healthy fats and oils nourish the liver. So here I'm going to share I love this recipe, warm beetroot and lemon lentil salad. So you want to get yourself 2 cooked beetroots, dice them, slice them, about 250 grams of cooked green or brown lentils, it's about a small bowl, handful of rocket or watercress, juice 1 lemon, toast and grind a teaspoon or 2, if you like it nice and cuminy, of cumin seeds, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, and some sea salt and ground black pepper. And how do you make it? Really easy. Toss them all together in a bowl, all the ingredients, and then whisk the lemon, the olive oil, and the cumin together and dress the ingredients. Really super easy and super successful for helping lowering blood pressure and improving cholesterol levels, the balance of cholesterol levels. But why does it work? Well, beetroot nourishes the blood and improves circulation. I've still not got it the right way up. So beetroot nourishes the blood and improves circulation by increasing nitric oxide production. This is the chemical that dilates blood vessels and opens them so there's better flow. You might call it nature's Viagra, opening all the pathways and allowing blood to flow through the tiny capillaries in the sexual organs. And you can find more recipes and specifically about that in my book. Next, onto the liver. Each organ has a flavour, and again you can find the full set of flavours in my books. And the sourness of the lemon moves liver qi. Next, the lentils are grounding and comforting, and they specifically support the spleen. Cumin aids digestion and reduces phlegm. So food isn't just fuel for a body that's a machine. It's medicine for an energetic body. and I'll be sharing more recipes throughout our Healthy Heart month of September. And so now let's move to standing and practice some Qigong together. One of the most powerful movements in the 8 brocades is draw the bow and fire the arrow. This movement opens the lungs, helps heart circulation and the liver channels. It improves your posture, your circulation and reduces internal tension, all essential for managing cholesterol and blood pressure. In 2023, there was a study which showed that the regular practice of the 8 brocades that we do in Qi Flow with Jo resulted in significant reductions in cholesterol levels and blood pressure, particularly among older adults and those at cardiovascular risk. So let's begin with the hand postures that you're going to need to know. We have a point here called the Lao Gung, which is right in the center here. And we want to be activating this throughout the movements. And you'll find that if you make a fist, it's where your middle finger falls, okay? So we're going to be drawing the bow, and as you draw the bow, you can see that I'm almost pulling a string, and that is activating that Lao Gung point. And I'm going to be making this, which is kind of like my guide for the arrow. And you can see that that is also activating your Lao Gung point. So let us practice. So stand with your feet hip width apart. Stand with your feet hip width apart. And what we're going to do is we're going to draw up and we're going to make a cross gently across, like to the shoulders, nice and down. Feet hip width apart, slightly wider if you like. Inhale, exhale, draw one arm across the chest. It's drawing the bow, and the other one is going to fire the arrow, and you're going to look at where that arrow is going. And that's an exhale. Let the arms sweep up. We're going to inhale, back up to crossing the arms. On the other side now, draw the bow and fire the arrow, looking to the direction of the arrow. So you're almost looking at the back of the palm. We'll set the breath in a little minute. So we'll just wait until we sync the breath. So make sure you've got this position. You're nice and grounded, armpits are open, shoulders are not up here, they're dropped down, and you're looking at almost the back of your hand. You're looking through that L shape. Other arm goes up, inhale. Let's put the breath together. Exhale, draw the bow, fire the arrow. Arm comes out, inhale up. And you can see that there's a slight sinking. I'm slightly sinking. Arm comes up, inhale. Slightly sink down, exhale, draw the bow, fire the arrow. And I've also got those activation of the Lao Gung points in the center of the palm. Inhale, exhale. Inhale up, exhale down. Arm comes out, inhale, show you from the side. Exhale, slight sink. You can see that there's a slight sink. Inhale up to the other side, exhale down. Inhale up. Making sure that my knees are not going over my toes. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. And rest. Bring the hands, drop the shoulders. Let me demonstrate sitting on a chair. Because the Badajwin, the 8 brocades, was actually created by a general. This is how the legend goes. Anyway, actually created by a general to help his soldiers improve their strength and their health. So let's go in the middle of my mat. Again, feet are over, in line with the hips. Slightly wider if you like. The wider your legs, then the more energetic this posture is, and the more you'll find your heart will begin to pump. So if you're just beginning, bring your feet in line with your hips. You can probably already start to feel the circulation system moving. So we don't have to do all these big aerobic exercises, which is why I love Qigong. I'm 57 in a couple of weeks, and I don't really want to be doing lots of exercise in which I might actually damage and hurt myself. So this one, nice and gentle, yet still great aerobic effects. So feet are in line with the hips. We're going to inhale, we're going to cross the arms. We're going to exhale, we're going to draw across the chest, and we're going to fire the arrow. Don't forget to activate those fingers. And exhale, inhale, exhale. Let it go. Inhale, exhale. Push your feet into the floor so you make sure that the rest of you doesn't turn. Inhale up, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Also getting a nice little neck and shoulder twist in as well. Last time, exhale and release. Taking a big belly breath. Exhale, squeeze the belly back to the spine and release. Big belly, squeeze and relax. That's also why I love Qigong, because you can do most of the exercises sitting down. So even when I had COVID, I could actually still practice Qigong because I could do them sitting down. So it really helps to keep you well and aid your recovery. You want to do it slowly, and you probably want to do it 6 to 8 times each side. Feel the expansion through the chest and the shoulders, and feel the calm with each breath. As I said, the movement opens the heart and the lung meridian, which comes down to the thumb. You're really activating the lung meridian, the heart meridian, which comes to your little finger, and the heart protector meridian, which is your middle finger. So that it really stabilizes the liver, it strengthens the lungs and opens the heart, supporting the body's ability to circulate and detoxify. So there you have it. One acupressure point to clear the phlegm and support circulation. One liver-loving recipe to nourish and move the qi. And one Qigong move to activate the heart, the liver and the lung channels. Do this daily, and you'll not only support your cholesterol levels, you'll feel clearer, lighter, and more emotionally balanced. Remember, this is not a replacement for medication, but a complementary therapy to support your healing journey. Let's use the wisdom of Chinese medicine to return to balance, one breath at a time. Thanks for joining me, and why not join me in September for a Healthy Heart Month? If you want more support, classes, recipes, or your questions answered, head on over to joannefaulkner.ie, and I'd love to hear how you feel after trying these practices. Leave a comment, share your journey. Remember, you can ask a question. Just go to the podcast page on joannefaulkner.ie. Your heart is listening. Give it the space, and care for it deeply. Have a beautiful, qi-filled day.